All right, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatham. Double honor to the Apostle of the Great Millstone. This is GMS Wisconsin, aka GMS Fortress, coming to you with another sit down before camp, bringing out some articles, some things we ran into during the week, and filtering it through the scriptures and through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right.
Yeah, because the name of the channel is GMS Ring the Alarm. So we're gonna ring the alarm and let y'all understand what's going on. Because we don't just deal with blacks. This ain't no Black Panther, Black Party, Black Power thing. This is the 12 tribes of Israel. So looking at the article, New Mexican rule: 14 to 17-year-olds can sex each other without charges. So we know what that's gonna do. That's gonna bring basically going to demoralize even more the fabric of the family, the kids being in their place, the parents moving over their kids, and bringing in that sex, which is actually witchcraft, which is the highest form of black magic. It's called sexual magic under what they call the organization, the Masonic Order, which is the triangle up, triangle down, with the G in the middle, which means, what is it?
Life and something with the general principle.
Thanks, brother. Right. So we know why they doing what they doing. So we're gonna filter through the scriptures on why not to be
in their spirit. That's the heavy. The lusting is the heavy demon out there right now. And as long as they can get you blacks, Latins, and Native Americans to go off and be in their spirit, man, they basically got y'all subdued.
Right. And this will interlude you into the next video on when they get you into that spirit, how they got a disease set up for you. But we're going to focus on this right now. How do this Matthew 16 and 2, he answered and said unto them, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the time? Because that's what time it is. That's why we GMS ring the alarm, because it's time to discern the times and what's going on. And if your kid do have a cell phone and so forth, you have to be that super parent. You have to be that bad guy. You can't be friends with your kids, and you have to screen and watch and see what they got. I got a 17-year-old. Now, ask me, do he have a Snapchat or Facebook or any of that shit? No. When was he able to get his first cell phone with Facebook in it and not even Facebook? He still ain't got that. Where he can get access to the internet, he was like 14, 15 years old. He tried to get one when he was like 9 and 10, cut that shit short. So I've been riding him ever since then. But it was through the spirit and the strength of Yahweh Shah, of me girding up my loins and being a man over my household.
And a lot of these parents don't watch over their kids' souls at all.
Yeah, that's what it goes into. It's protecting them from the demonic, the satanic world out here. Then they grab your kid around their age, about 9 or 10.
Yep.
And that's when they start thinking they homosexuals or they all sorts of kind of other things.
And that's when the programming process comes into play.
Matthew 16 and 4, and it said, but you can't discern the signs of the time, which we explain to you what time it is. A wicked and adulterous generation, because that's what they have, the witchcraft actually turning you people into. A wicked and adulterous generation, y'all seeking after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And Jonah was what? In the empire of Nineveh, and he prophesied against Nineveh. Now you had Tobit, which actually, what was his father's name? Tobit's father?
It wasn't. Started with an M, right?
Because Tobit's father actually told his son to leave Nineveh because he actually believed in the prophecy of Jonah, and it was going to be destroyed, and it actually was destroyed at the end. I'm acting like I can't fucking find Tobit.
It wasn't actually destroyed in the time of Judas. Slack. What's his name? Jonah. It wasn't actually destroyed right then and there when Jonah prophesied. But it was destroyed later on.
Toby
Yeah,
So
son of Tobiah, the son of
and Emil.
and Anil, and that gives his genealogy right when you open up Tobit chapter 1. It actually tells you his father's name genealogy, and it goes back. So we living in the end times of Yahweh Shah coming, and Yahweh Shah was speaking to you in this verse in Matthew 16, 1 through 4, and explaining that just like y'all can't discern the signs now. Now I ain't gonna keep going because I'm dragging this shit. But it's time to wake up and understand that Satan, which is the white man, which is Esau, I don't give a fuck if he calls himself Spanish, I don't give a fuck if he calls himself American, Russian, German, France, Australian, all the motherfucking white folks the devil. And ain't no coincidence, half of them kids on the goddamn picture right there is Edomite kids, mixed in with the Israelites.
I just Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 8.
Yeah, is that what it's like?
Yeah, pouring it.
Alright, kind of. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time.
Right, and we understanding that the hard way because a lot of you motherfuckers who actually are our parents and our grandparents and our older relatives, y'all going right along with this shit.
Knowing that is measured by a number of years. For wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
Yeah, keep going.
He pleased the Most High, and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated.
Right, and that's who is that talking about? Who is that talking about?
Enoch.
Yeah, Enoch. Enoch lived among sinners like today, just like this shit is today. So that's why he was picked up, abducted.
Yeah,
For the black conscious.
yeah, because that's what's going on in the article. That all that's with the devices.
Yeah,
He speedily was he taken away.
right, and that's why we hasten the day of Yahweh Shah to come back to destroy Babylon the Great and its philosophy, which is the image of the beast.
Thus that wickedness shall alter his understanding.
Right, and that's what it's doing to the 12 tribes of Israel, and they going after our kids. They trying to alter our next generation understanding. So those of us who's the heads of Israel, we have to prophesy and use these scriptures to block all this witchcraft.
Or deceit beguile his soul.
Right, and that's what they trying to do to them young. And you notice ain't no boys in that picture, right? See, it's all young girls. Because we under the Queen of Heaven vibration, and like Yahweh Shah said, he shall create a new thing in the earth. The woman shall compass the man. So the man nowadays all over the world is following these women. You see it in Chicago all the time. Who you see trailing who? You see the woman trailing the man behind her. And he got on the El Feminist clothes, and she got on the masculine.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
Right, what's honest? The 613 laws.
And then Esau is making a society more bewitched with the witchcraft. This is part of his witchcraft to basically put you in a sleep state and have these little boys and girls think in an animalistic way, off of instinct, you know. So, but that's the majority of Babylon. That's what it has done to the whole world.
Yeah, because Esau got all kinds of cunning wicked devices, man.
Y'all
Out
see,
there, man.
taste,
Yeah.
hear, touch, and that's it. Smell.
I say, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
Right, and them young kids at that age are the simple minded.
He being made perfect in a short time, feel a long time.
Because he's just talking about why he was actually abducted.
Right, and that's why we need to be abducted.
Quick.
Because Esau, that's why the scripture saying in Matthew, if it wasn't, he made the days shorter for our sake, for the elect's sake. And that's why he's doing it, you know, because If he don't, Esau would have his way with this world, and he would totally basically take this world out. Second Timothy. Oh, we're getting
Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be short.
right. So Esau basically is trying to bring in this immoral society with waves and flood of his philosophies. What? So he can demoralize the whole planet. Now ain't nobody thinking about the Most High or his laws. Okay. So, but he only fastening these days up so he can bring in the salvation of the elect, the 144,000. Right?
And that put pressure on us and our household.
Yeah, come. 2 Timothy 3 and 12.
Yeah. 16.
Okay. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 12. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse.
And that's what's going on right now, man. A lot of these kids getting seduced by these evil wicked devices, like I was saying before.
And this is politicians with the legislative law.
Exactly.
And basically, man, America is waxing worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? You got the lesbianism, you got the faggotism, you got the transsexuals, man.
Right. But now go ahead,
It's all like spewed out in the open now.
But guess who they focused on? The nigga on the corner.
Yeah.
The Latin on the corner that's full of the Lord wrath, but they ain't thinking about their politicians that they voting in that's actually passing these laws for these gays, these homosexuals, these transvestites, painting the goddamn White House rainbow color, took something that was Lord, that was a token of he ain't gonna destroy the world, to some evil.
The scripture says, we live in a time like evil is good.
Yeah,
good is
come.
evil. Yeah, I can't read
I think
that.
Yeah.
Oh, woe to them that
Yeah.
Say, damn, I was just looking at that.
yeah, they said evil is good.
Yeah, good is evil. I was just looking at that.
I was trying to pray.
13, 20. Oh no. It's like, I know it's something. Oh yeah, 4 and 20. No, 5 and 20. Isaiah 5 and 20. I got it.
Okay.
Isaiah 5 and 20, it says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Right, woe to you. They call evil good and good evil. Man. And then that sexting stuff, that's evil. You know?
But us going out on the street corner or doing these videos, this evil.
Right, come. It says that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Woe to them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight.
Right, that's the wisdom of this world.
It says, woe to them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink.
Exactly, so that's part of philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him.
Right, because the righteous trying to righteous, which is, you know what I'm saying, the brothers that's pushing this truth, they really trying to like dissect the truth and take it away. But Yahusha ain't gonna let that happen.
That's right. Back in 2 Timothy chapter 4, 3 verses 13, it says, I start at 12. It says, yea, all that will the godly in Yahushua shall suffer persecution.
And that's what we do. And that's why y'all making the laws, framing us as the evil guy.
It says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
Right. So they pass some legislative laws deceiving you and your kids deceiving your ass as a parent.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned.
Right, so those of us who are elect, who hear this word and understand it, we got to continue in the things that we learn, which is the 613 laws, have more. And wash your garment and make it clean.
And hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
Right, the ones to the elders, always down through Abner Bivens, all the way down to Elder Tar, down to us, and now we actually teach. So fuck Obama and whoever passed them bills, because I don't know who the fuck that is.
And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahushua. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, all right, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, all right.
Right, because the Most High inspire us, which is the name of the Lord, to get this word, get this truth, and get our nationality, and teach by inspiration.
Yeah, that's right, because America in the world that follows after America in this democracy, they have now they're set as adversaries against the truth. They set themselves up as adversaries against those things which are honest and goodly to the world. And now they basically at a standoff with the Most High in nature and in His will that keep that the things that keep the earth running, basically. All right. Verse 17, that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. All right. It says, right. So we thoroughly furnished unto all good works, man. So we can be made perfect. All right. So we got something real quick.
Very quick. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. Redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Right, the redeeming of time. That means basically watching what's going on in the world. Redeeming. All right.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna Salaki. I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna read Ephesians 5:15. This takes the cake. Right here it says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise."
Right. Another word for saying circumspect, meaning to look around you. See what's going on around you, 360. Okay? Things like this sexting thing is just one small implication in a pool of all types of wickedness that's going on here in the world. So this is one thing that's showing you the demoralization and where people's minds are basically being at. It gives you a one-up, all right?
Yeah, everything small and big.
That's right.
Because motherfuckers say, oh man, that don't matter. You right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Yeah, it's bad time.
That's right.
Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Most High is.
Right. The will of the Most High is when you understand your nationality, His name, which will lead you to salvation, and the 613 law. And we know this going against it.
Be not drunk with wine.
Right, with their philosophy. Oh, this just sex and this is what the kids do. Ain't nothing wrong with this. Every generation here, they little thing they do. No, fuck that. I ain't going along to get along with a multitude to do evil. Fuck
That's
that.
right.
And that's one of the scriptures.
That proverb. Not
Yeah,
the multitude.
y'all follow not a multitude to do evil. So you better get your ass up out of here.
Wherein his access.
See that? Whereas it's access, meaning a lot. Now don't everybody got a cell phone? Can't everybody text now? So that makes that access meaning a lot. Man, fuck y'all in the motherfucking text.
Wherein essence, but be filled with the Spirit. Like, essence, but hey man, the Spirit of Yahweh shall work through brothers, man. Like for instance, one to cut all the cell phones off. And nobody can't have no access. You know what I'm saying? Like brothers that's spiritual, we can already sense that a brother coming. Cause I had that experience through Yahweh Shai.
And be spiritual, because being spiritual would guard your mind from the concupiscences or the illicit desire that's going on out here in the world, so you won't be taken, thereby.
That was it. Okay, I got one. It's Proverbs 24 and 21. My son, fear the Lord and the king, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. and meddle not with them that are given to change. So I don't care how many of my friends that's 36, 37 to 39 years old talking about they let their kids have a cell phone and they don't mind them having them accounts and shit like that. I say, well, you take your shit and you do that. But when how I grew up, my aunt didn't play that shit. I'm considered old school. Well, I'm gonna be an old school motherfucker, and I'm not going with that shit. I'm keeping the same morals that I knew from me being a kid to an adult that I knew curved me from BS. I'm keeping that same mindset, but now increasing it through the spirit of Yahweh Shah by filtering what I was taught through the scriptures so I can discern good from evil.
That's right.
And all that other shit y'all talking about, y'all already know me in the town. Y'all can miss me. Because I'm punching back. Shit. If you act like you don't want to miss me.
Well, that's why them kids out here fucked up.
Right, and cuz, why on the internet, that's what's being shown.
Yeah,
Charmy said it every day. Damn, what's the name? My cousin kid is gone. Look, show me a picture. Titties all out, tattoos right here. Pregnant, laying on her boyfriend stomach and shit. She's 17 years old. Look, y'all 17.
Wow.
He ain't even got no girlfriend.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? And she like, damn, she gone. And look, why her daddy in Racine, she stayed in another state. That was the one who went to jail. Her boyfriend shot somebody and she got accessory to a murder. She got out after 7 years. So, I'm sorry, 4 years. So this little girl that got out, she on a picture like that. So now Sean be like, damn, she gone. Why her daddy say, shaking my head, what you in some Love Joan spirit? Why you showing your body off? You know the little girl responded back? It's not showing my body off. I left. I said, whoop, y'all Sean. Hey man, y'all raise your, if you don't raise your, look, I'm a testimony of that. If you don't raise your son or your daughter up under Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah and rule your house as an Israelite man, your ass is in trouble. I'm watching motherfuckers be done. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
the image of the beast.
It's cold. That motherfucker cold. That's
And
wrong
then-
too.
the scripture says they should watch what's in words, and that's what the brother's talking about.
Man, I can see. I'm sorry. One more thing.
Yeah.
I seen a guy that worked at my son's school. By the way, his name is Josh Jamil. One of Jamil's best friends, Latin. He worked there, right? Because you know he seen me in Woodman's, and he gonna stop and say, "Man, I be seeing Lil John at school. What's wrong with him?" I said, "What you mean? What's wrong with him? He don't talk to nobody." But he gave me this look like he just let me know that something's wrong with Lil John because he don't interact with the kids. You know what I said, right? And I said in my head, shit, my nigga. But then I said, oh, you know why, right? He's like, why? I said, because Lil John told me straight out that the kids don't talk about nothing. They have no meaning behind it. They have no substance. And he can't imagine himself having no conversation about no sports all day and no women all day. He said he can't do that. And dude gonna say, he looking at me, cuz. The man, like, literally shunned everything I just, the explanation, but that's what Lil John told me. He shunned all that and said, okay, I can see why he don't want to talk to nobody. He don't want to get caught up in no mess, because they do be getting caught in a lot of BS, because he's security. And I said, nigga, did you just hear what the fuck I just said to
Right.
you?
They don't see they don't
Go ahead,
recognize
Albert.
the time, man. They ain't redeeming the time, man. People's spiritual eye is off, completely off. There ain't no spirituality.
They all
It's just
fleshy.
bestiality.
That's it.
It's just beast mode. You know?
That's it.
They too fleshy, man.
Because it took me a whole day
Too fleshy.
to calm down about why he approached me like that.
Yeah.
I had to think about it, and it goes back to what I not just said. I actually had to sit down and say and keep going over before I told Lil John, why did he come at me like that? He made it seem like something's wrong with him. Yeah, I mean, he made it seem like something's wrong with me. And like you said, bestiality, their spiritual eye is off, so it's them five senses again. He can't figure out why Lil John Young, he should be trying to touch something, look at something, laugh, joke, and all that shit.
And that's all he's supposed to do.
Yeah. He stopped eating lunch at school because he said it was giving him the little titties and shit. So he started taking just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and working out harder and shit. So I bet they look at him funny about that. But he can't sit there intelligently and through his pineapple and through the spirit and explaining to them about the hormones and all that shit. But he living it though.
And you know what? It's gonna be and explaining all that shit to these people, man. It's a waste of time.
And you know it.
It's a waste of time.
You know it. Because he hear all our experience. Go ahead.
Oh, here we go. This is Isaiah 59:5. It says, "They hatch cockatrice eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper. Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands." See, and that's why you say, "Oh, you don't want to get caught up in that," because it is that whole realm of thinking, and that ain't nothing but drama. And it says, "Their feet run to evil." Verse 7. "Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not." It says, "And there is no judgment in their doing. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace." And that's the way of America. That's the way of how these kids are basically the mentality they have taken on.
I know that's a cut, right?
That's
I don't even want to bring out no more scriptures after that.
What's that scripture?
Y'all gotta meditate on that.
This is Isaiah 59.
And this is America, and that's what I'm looking at when I see these kids out here in America through all 50 states.
That's right. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
cut.
that's it, kid. I ain't got no more.
Verse 9, it says, "Therefore is judgment far from us,
Yes.
neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, meaning darkness. For brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday, as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men."
See that? And that's what y'all mindset and state is here in America, and the ways and the philosophy, which is that web that's coming out of the edge that's catching everybody in darkness. That's why I had this. Okay, I just got one.
Proverbs.
No, the Lamentation 2:19, because
Oh,
he tell
yeah,
us to
yeah.
do something in that darkness,
Right.
and that's what we actually fulfilling. And see, we know we doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And we don't give a fuck how nobody feel, what y'all think, and what kind of politically correct language is supposed to be used.
Man, you old motherfuckers, man. Man, look. Stop acting young, man. Y'all trying to act like y'all kids, y'all nephews and nieces and shit. Knowing you motherfuckers 45, and if you be 50. Man.
Right. Be an example, be a role model. But they caught up in that web too.
This is Lamentations 2:19. "Arise, cry ye in the night. Cry out, ye slackers." Lamentations 2:19. "Arise, cry out in the night. In the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water."
And we are the watchmen. And our mind, we point out these scriptures, which is the living water, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. This is your ticket and to salvation. This is your ticket to salvation.
It says, "Pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children, that faint for hunger in the top of every street."
See that? And that's what these kids are doing. So we doing our job. So what about you? With all you trolls that's on the internet that's just hitting brothers' sites and you ain't got you want to tell people what's wrong with what we saying, but then you have no correction and no teaching. Man, fuck that.
Hey,
No, I just had to laugh at that.
man.
No. What it say? Positions of not
Yeah. This is no value.
no value.
Nothing.
That's why
That's
y'all families fucked up. Totally fucked up.
they're gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse, man.
Because they're gonna be deceiving each other, acting like everything's all right, but not really addressing the issues that need to be addressed in these times. People need to get their mind right. And then niggas ain't seeing with a spiritual eye what mindset they're supposed to be in. So that the leaders and the men that's supposed to be men forget about it, man, because they the ones that's gonna lead them houses into destruction.
They got Jeremiah 8:15. This is what I'm going to say. We look for peace, but no good came.
See that? And that's what y'all prosperity doctrines in the churches and in these institutions, whether it's college or it's the NAACP or Black Lives Matter. Y'all actually just looking for peace, but what's gonna happen?
And for a time of health and the whole trouble.
See that's it. That's all y'all got. No peace and trouble. That's why just get used to Esau gunning y'all down.
And no
Yeah.
health. It's like
No, you got it.
no health, man. Like you motherfuckers learn to take care of yourselves, man.
And Esau finna ramp it up on y'all ass. So keep eating that cancer-based meat.
I know this one chick.
Zika. He got the
Yeah, I
Zika
know
with
this one chick. She was talking about she got cancer and she got blood clot and shit.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I will tell a bitch what to do, but
she gonna scoff.
right, exactly.
right.
That nigga think he is like he a doctor.
Right, exactly.
But the spirit had me don't say shit. So I ain't finna say shit. You know?
They gonna see when the time is when it's dire time when they can't just go to the doctor. Now they gotta make a move where they have to start treating themselves.
Yep. You can't, like, people our age group, man, you can't even tell. You can't tell them shit. Like the brother said, they gonna scoff you.
You can't tell them too much or nothing. Really.
I just, shit, keep it fucking.
Yeah. This Ecclesiastes 30 and 17. Death is better than a bitter life of continuous sickness. So you motherfuckers better be y'all should better be dead. But if y'all like y'all life, I love it. I want
That's
some more. Start riding. Okay.
Okay, next article is Zika virus. All right, this is the update on the Zika virus. It says study of 9 pregnant Americans raises new worries. All right. This is in the University of Chicago. It says a study of 9 pregnant women from the United States who traveled to countries where the Zika virus was circulating shows a greater than expected number of fatal infections in brain abnormalities, according U.S. health officials. 2 of the women had miscarriages, 2 had abortions, 2 had apparently healthy children, and 1 child was born with severe microphilia. It says it's like a microcephaly. It says the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. I think it's supposed to be Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. CDC said. It says right. Doctors are still following the 2 remaining pregnancies, which so far appear to be progressing without complications, the CDC says. We did not expect to see these brain abnormalities in the small case series of U.S. pregnant travelers, said Dr. Denise Jamieson, a birth defects expert on CDC's Zika virus response team. She said it was greater than we could have expected. Brazil is investigating thousands of cases of babies born with abnormalities or abnormally small heads thought to be linked with Zika, a mosquito-borne virus circulating in Latin America and the Caribbean. That's it.
I don't know. Okay, this Deuteronomy. But you don't remember these curses because they whooping that ass. Deuteronomy 28 and 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mightest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thou God, which his name is Yahweh, not Jesus or Jesus Christ. Then the Lord will make these plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed. See, putting them on your kids. Every great plague and of long continuance and sore sickness and of a long continence Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in numbers. And Esau is fulfilling that now. He cutting off that northern kingdom. Whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. So I'm pretty sure when the women found out that they had Zika, it's basically like the AIDS, when the AIDS came out and you go to get that blood test, and you, oh my God, Jesus, oh, help me, Lord, my baby. Not knowing, hey, Zeus putting a whoop ass on your shoulder.
Yeah. Zeus cursing.
Right. And I'm finna show it to you.
Oh, I only had something that's 850.
Okay.
But you can go ahead.
Okay. Hosea 4 and 6. I'm gonna just jump to the point. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Yeah, but y'all don't care to know anything. That's why the Lord set us up. Bring His word out and His truth all through the states and all through the globe. We're talking about GMS.
It's His power, it's His will to bring out these sayings, the curses that you under, and the prophecy that is dealing with it, man.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. See, and this in Hosea. This talking to the northern kingdom, popping y'all ass.
That's right. That it?
Yep.
Okay. Second entrance 8 and 50 says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride."
Yeah, because y'all prideful too. And y'all naive as fuck. And y'all don't care. No, 2/3 of y'all don't care about the truth. You trying to they don't like to get corrected for some odd reason. We think that all the motherfucking time.
Yeah, and that's why so much atrocities and things are happening to the northern kingdom, you Latins and North American Indians. That's why it's happening so on a severe level. Down there in Mexico and Puerto Rico, it's worse than black on black, well, so-called black on black crime over here. It's worse, man. It's on a larger scale, when you deal with the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans. That's why y'all going through so much stuff, man. Because y'all not gonna fully understand till the Lord turn up the heat on y'all ass. And then that's when they're gonna realize when family members, close family members start dying and they ain't got no answers to what they're going through, and so on and so forth. And they got visions that can't nobody break down, or, and all that shit. Verse 51, 8 and 51, it says, "But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is built. And rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom."
Yeah, because we have a GMS camp down in Mexico too.
Oh, we do.
So the kingdom of heaven is being built right in front of y'all, but y'all look at it like a bunch of ragtag dudes who need a job.
It says, the root, verse 53, 8 and 53, it says, "The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the mouth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is shewed the treasure of immortality." There's more to it. The scripture say they will give untimely births.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Second Ezra.
It's at the top. See what y'all should live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is
Here you go, right here. I got
Okay, because yeah, but yeah, go ahead, read. And then,
Like the second Ezra chapter 6, verse 21. It say, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children.
now we know that what they call the baby they put
Premature.
the premature baby. When you had a Zika virus, they're not fully developed, so that's in the same realm as premature because they're supposed to fully develop, man. So that scriptures cover what's going on right now too.
3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. Yeah, like you see now, man. They coming out, babies coming out, you know what I'm saying,
Undeveloped.
undeveloped, man. And they ain't fully developed. They coming out the form and all that, man, because this world, man, is totally jacked up, man.
No, but you blame Esau because this ain't nothing but another ploy of his, man. Because they into the depopulation of the society and what's going on and stuff. They part of that scheme too. So.
And then, you know what? You got city motherfuckers. They think, you know what I'm saying, retardation is like normal. No, retardation really came from slave from Esau. You know what I'm saying? We want to know back in the ancient world, we want to know people was like healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I think of that all the time. Like in this modern time, why is retardation like, you know what I'm saying, like
Upskill, like so.
you know what I'm saying? But they weren't like that back then. You know what I'm saying? Because when that scripture says the words of perversion.
Yeah, no, that's the earth being defiled on the Sabbath day.
Yeah,
Because what did he use? He went to the lab with his mad scientists. And we got asbestos, we got the lead in the paint, we got the BP that's coming off all the plastic. And even before then, the way he had people working in factories and digging these minerals and metals up. Everything the white man have revolutionized through the industrial revolution, it's all been poison. Dealing with the material. That's why now, since we're getting to the end, you notice now, like, they got all these safety gloves you gotta wear and safety goggles. I be feeling like I'm goddamn, what's my man name with the go-go gadgets and shit?
Expected.
I be thinking I'm expecting gadgets when I go to work. I be actually telling them, like, I honestly gotta wear these glasses. They like, you gotta wear glasses, face masks, gloves up to here.
And they gotta update it too.
Yeah.
So that lets you know the stuff out there is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, everything. Whether you're dealing with some paint, if you welding, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. If you even going in the ocean to get some shit out the water, the suit they got you in got radiation and lead and shit in it. God damn, Esau, man, you fucked the whole world up. This Hosea 5:3. I know Ephraim and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled.
There's some the Puerto Ricans along with the Mexicans.
They will not frame their doing to turn unto their God. That's the Catholicism. So it's time to bring the Zinco on y'all ass.
Yeah, also the Brazilians, y'all following that line too.
Yeah. Cubans.
Dominicans and Chileans, Argentinians.
Yeah, the whole
Uruguayans,
South America.
all South and Central America.
Yeah, that's why y'all get it.
Yeah.
For the spirit of whoredom is in the midst of them, and they have not known the Lord.
Yeah, it's talking about spiritual whoredom. That's you taking on these different customs like Catholicism and all these those voodoo religions where they deal with death and all of that, and summoning demons and tarot card reading, all of that. That's spiritual fornication.
Yeah, because I'm not joined with the outside.
And
Married to the outside.
they praise them astrologers like they priests.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked to find that out. They had a line and they was coming up, kissing him, shaking his hand, kissing his ring, kissing his hand, want to take pictures with him. I said, what the fuck is this? And the pride of Israel does testify to his face. And that's what we're doing today. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquities. Judah also shall fall with them. Right. You look, man. You African Americans, you Judites, you Jacob, y'all ass getting it too, because y'all in these churches like ain't nothing going on. That's why Esau been burning them motherfuckers down, going there machine gunning y'all, and he gonna turn the heat up. Especially when them finger counts. You know, they got the list on ministry. They shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He has withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children. And shall a moth devour them with their portions. Blow ye the cornet and gibbet, and the trumpet in Raham. Cry aloud. Well, that's wrong to the ancient
Remember, I got one for Esau real quick. This is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." Right, and that's Esau with his devices, his scientific devices, him poisoning things and making these viruses and making them gene specific. Okay, so he can depopulate the planet, and so he can bring in more of the his implications. It says, verse 2, "And they come to the fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Therefore said the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil." All right. So this time that we're living in, all right. Oh, it said verse 4, "In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, We be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord." All right, and that's what the nations, well, mainly the nation of Israel is going to realize, man. How the so-called white man is in barged on their lands and taking their land and taking their heritage. All right, along with him devising his evil works. That's it. That's it for me.
Right. Since you ride Esau, because Esau, you think because we ain't here rebuking our people, you laughing and shit. Oh, that's what they get. No, your ass getting it too. And this for you crackers out there. All you nations. Deuteronomy, because the Chinese and the Japanese, Moab, and and they in World War II, they actually gave over, and when they surrendered, when they got the bomb dropped on their ass, they actually, and I did a lesson on this a long time ago, they gave up all their scientific research when it comes to diseases and turned it over to the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy, so this for y'all ass too. Y'all over here too. Deuteronomy 7:15. "And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee." See that? "And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord God shall deliver thee. Thy eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee." And that's why we actually get hit today, because we worship in their gods, which is a snare unto us. Because worshiping Jesus Christ is nothing but, who was that?
Worship of Serapis Christus.
Yeah.
Caesar Borgia.
Yeah. You can keep going back in time, which actually goes back to, we say, the last empire, which would be the Babylonian Empire, which worshiped in them.
Yeah.
So, and them African guys. So y'all gonna get the diseases put on y'all too. This ain't just us.
Right, exactly. Time is coming. That's it. Okay. Well, that concludes that article.
Right. Last but least, this motherfucking nigga Clark.
Mr. Clark, he
Mr.
always
Clark.
up to his antics, ain't he?
Right. What would he think of next?
Right.
Black Milwaukee sellout Sheriff Clark. No, let me say it right. Black Milwaukee, like that matter. When we, first of all, we ain't black.
Right.
You might as well say Judas Goat, fucking Israelite,
traitor,
Right. Basically.
treasonous traitor of his own nation.
Right. There you go.
Illuminati scumbag.
Right. Which is
yeah, kind of.
which is a part of the how you say it? Fraternity Brotherhood of the
Masonic
Blue
order.
Wall of Silence, which is the actual police force, and that's why he's rolling with his police guy. But he go right back into the days of the Maccabees. He go right back into this.
Right, exactly.
First Maccabees 1:11, and in those days went out of Israel a wicked man who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant," which is agreement. That's why he signed that contract, like Nate did to be an officer.
Daniel 7. Yeah.
Right, with the heathens that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. And certain of the people were so forward wherein that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathens.
So, yeah, just like in the ancient world, man, it's happening. The same thing is happening now. You got this guy, what's his name? Joe Clark, David Clark, who has subscribed to the American way, which he's an Israelite. Every so-called Negro here in America, y'all Israelites, all right? Those who come from the seed of Jacob, and he's doing the same thing. Now he's into that Romanistic, Greco-Roman way of life, that fashion. And that's why he put on the badge, the Rothschild badge. He pledged allegiance to the Rothschild, all right, to the Illuminati banking family, and he's down with them to carry out their order and to destroy the so-called Negroes here in America and to lead them into that new world order. That's what this guy represents. You had more?
No, that was it.
Okay, but this is Isaiah chapter 1, verses 23. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. All right? Everyone loveth gifts. All right? I'm going to break it down accordingly. It says, thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. The thieves are the so-called white men. All right? Which is Esau, Edom in the Bible. Okay? And it says, everyone loveth gifts. His gift is the car, the house, the 401, the 401k, all of those things here in America. Those are his perks.
His land, because he liked to ride horses and he got his own ranch, so he's all into that.
Oh, okay, come. Yeah,
and downtown Milwaukee, he actually, his wife has invested in the whole prison industry, which she actually owned part of downtown Milwaukee Detention Center. When you get your teeth fixed, she got shares into that.
So yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had their stakes in Sojourn, where there's nothing but another police department that deal with abused kids and single mothers, and the guys that own that place is so-called Jews. So he in bed with those guys. So I wouldn't be surprised. All right, it says everyone loveth gifts and follow after rewards.
And that's what he up there getting, a reward. Because he's been voted in 4 times to be the sheriff, and that's his reward. He loved that.
They judge not the fatherless. Yeah, you see, he against, he for niggas getting shot down in the street.
And being locked up.
Yeah. It says, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them.
Right, meaning he totally neglect or negate that the blacks has been having institutionalized racism target them and target their neighborhood to bring the fathers out the house to bring adolescent kids. He totally negate that. And this document right here. I say this a bit, which we gonna read it after we know these scriptures on that ass.
Right.
Cause if we read it first and then they I kind of see where they coming from. No, we gonna read our scripture first and then show you, and then the document itself will speak on why we brought out these scriptures.
You ain't nothing but a token nigga, man. That's it.
Because like how you said, he quick to have blacks killed, right?
Yeah.
Now you would think you just being biased, you just talking. First paragraph to you.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. He with that.
It's a Milwaukee David Clark, the African American sheriff of Milwaukee County, is a man on a mission to what's that?
Rebuke.
Allegations that U.S. police have been too quick to use deadly force against blacks in a
Spate.
spate.
Yeah, spate of killing.
Okay, a spate of killing from New York to Ferguson, to Missouri. Okay, I jumped the gun. It's down. It's down. Because I read this earlier say that he told the people to go out and battle with guns and defend their houses against criminals.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into it.
Yeah, he a hypocrite too. It says, the 38-year-old law enforcement veteran has become one of the most polarized black critics of the Black Lives Matter, a movement that grew out of protests against the police killings of unarmed black men, which he describes as anomalies and an otherwise effective criminal justice system. Now we know the justice system was made against so-called Negroes, but he's big up and he's paying homage to the justice system, which in otherwise basically is made to deprive and to basically how you say that?
Press.
Yeah, oppress you so-called Negroes and Latins. All right, so it says, my mission right now is defending cops.
See that? That's it. That's that blue ball of socks. That's that brotherhood of the police.
It's a full-time mission. The 59-year-old cowboy hat wearing, all right, sheriff said during a recent interview, I've got to defend this profession because no one else is or very few are. Clark has taken on the national movement in appearances on Fox News, which we know that ain't nothing but a mother corporation of the vast.
Right? The dominant
Yeah.
race watch that from ages 35 to 65. Because that's their viewpoints. Fox is that's why you got, what's her name, Megan Clark. That's why you got Home there, which was saying that it doesn't matter if Santa Claus was black. She was the white woman that said that, the all blonde one.
Yeah, yeah. And they racist. The Fox will show you that they're racist.
All the way.
Prejudice, you know.
And they the ones that counter and go. See, they supposed to be, Fox is for like the Republicans, and CNN is for the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And they go back and forth and talk against each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and the bitch Stacey Dash just made her comment about BET and the Oscars.
Yeah.
And she worked for Fox News.
See?
So, you know.
Now we see why she said that.
Right, exactly.
That only makes sense.
Yeah, and that's why they have their conferences. They have the conferences on TV on Sunday. Like they were talking, like they said, they were talking against each other. Like trying to overtalk each other. So like,
But meanwhile, they got the women on there with their numbers more. With the little ass dresses on, the mini skirts on. All I'm looking at is legs and knees.
That's it. It says Clark has taken on the national movement in appearances on Fox News, Ashkenazi, fake Jewish medium, witchcraft that they use. All right, it says, and on Twitter, often calling the group Black Lives Matter, and labeling its members subhuman creeps, and calling for the movement's eradication from American society. His stance has drawn the ire of black activists. And another way, him using the term subhuman, that's going to be a term that's being used a lot lately, because they're in that philosophy of basically a war against, poverty, but also war against so-called Negroes and Latins.
Especially those who use the freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly.
Subhuman, because once you consider subhuman, they detach you from
Society.
being human and being a part of like a person with a family. So now they don't have no problem with having you bowled down, locked up, internment camps. It goes back to that.
Yeah,
true.
It says if there was a white sheriff making those statements, they would have demanded his resignation by now, said Fred Royal, president of the Milwaukee chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
What am I doing for him? They all crabs in a bucket.
Exactly. It says his remarks have racist overtones to them.
Okay.
He's in total denial of the condition the average citizen in this community is being subjected to, Rose says. Black Lives Matter contends Black Americans are more likely to face violence at the hands of police than their white counterparts. A 2015 study by Britain's Guardian newspaper found that U.S. blacks were killed by police at a rate roughly 2.5 times higher than whites.
Okay.
Clark, who joined the Milwaukee Police Department as a patrol officer in 1978 and was appointed county sheriff in 2002, is unremoved by such criticism.
Right, because he had to go through the fraternity order, watching all kind of corruption, and keeping his mouth closed. That's why it took so long for his ass to become sheriff. 79 to 78
Yeah.
to 2002. Nigga, they just brought you in?
Right.
All we can trust a nigga, he proved himself. He'd have killed a couple of his arms.
He don't care about his own. Yeah. It said it's not going to work with me, Clark said. I'm on the side of the law-abiding public. I'm on the side of victims of crime.
You know, white people.
Right. But not. Well, he can't say that for white collar. You know, because the only person that's been victims of crime are Blacks, Latins, and Native Americans.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan, when they brought drugs in the community, all right? But now they say that, oh, there's a conspiracy, that don't matter. You know, where's the documents on that? Or,
We got the document.
right, exactly.
We got the document.
But they totally ignored it.
Exactly. Like I just did the one on the whole welfare and how that was brought in, and even put the document of Crisis on Federal Street on how they brung all that money in and knew that the lady was only going to have $2 at the end of the day, but they gave her $88,000 at the end of the year to keep the man out the house. So the man back in the house in the 70s, when Clark bitch ass came into being in the police force, you would have had to stay in your house. You would have had to go against a system that was going to give your wife $88,000 to what you make. And me right now, shit, I'm nowhere near getting close to $88,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I was out the house. I've been out the house.
Right.
I was out the house 2 times.
Exactly.
So we got the document.
Okay, it says connecting with voters. Clark's tough talking stand.
Yeah, just that last part.
Okay. Clark's tough talking stance has resonated with voters both inside Milwaukee, one of the nation's poorest and most segregated cities, and in the more affluent suburbs, which have lower crime rates.
So who the fuck do he think he's talking to?
They're talking
The
about-
most segregated, poorest, and it's the poorest.
Right.
That's
and
crazy.
no crime, and believe me, don't no crime spill out in those counties. They recently they had a few car robberies here and there, but no home invasions, nothing serious where niggas getting killed in those counties, or niggas are killing each other in those counties. This guy is a straight out traitor to his own people, and that's just what he is, man. He treasonous traitor, man. Amongst probably a black Edomite.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what it's called. Okay.
Okay.
This you got something?
Yeah.
That's nice, man.
This is a quick thing. This is Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and the gift destroys the heart.
Mm.
Because the gift that he received as a blue wall silence police officer since 1979, that's a gift from Esau.
Yeah, and oppression maketh a wise
That's
man.
mad.
And that's why we, for lack of better words, we don't protest, but we go out there and prophesy on the downfall of this place that's been plaguing us for so many centuries,
Yeah.
and had the so-called white man who had his foot on our necks for so many centuries. The oppression maketh a wise man mad. So we're wise. And he ain't nothing but another token nigga that took the gift of the so-called white man and who's complacent with the truth and this false reality that he's living. And he's comfortable more with the false reality than he is with the truth of his people being oppressed by these so-called whites. Why he's protecting them. So that's his slate, and that's what he's about. So, death to America and death to him.
This Ezekiel 22:18. I'm trying to figure out where to start and start on him. Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead. In the midst of the furnace, they are even the dross of silver. And that's Clark.
The dross is the undesirable parts, the parts that you don't need. He's dross. He ain't helping no nigga nowhere in sight. He can care less about niggas. Is his wife white?
No, black. But say
Yes, another token nigga who has sold out his own nation. And that's why just because niggas like him who in high authority and have places solidified, they will never help the so-called black community change. And that I like the video so-called white dude, but I think he's a Jake. He was pressing on those points. He's like, you got all these people. Yeah, you got all these people that's in the NBA and all these rich people. But the so-called black and Latin communities, they ain't helping each other, man. They in peril, man. They're at their last leg.
Therefore, thus said the Lord God, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem. See that? Because you are Israelite no matter what. Because you're going to be judged in the board of Israel, whether you want to be one or not. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So I will gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. That nigga gonna get left here in America, cuz he out of here. Him, that motherfucking horses, nappy head ass wife, and them kids that for some odd reason, you know this, you don't never see no picture of. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, anytime we don't cut it, let me know. Son of man, say unto her, thou art the land that is not cleansed.
You said thou art of the land that's not cleansed?
Yeah. There art the land that is not cleansed.
Right. And America's not cleansed, man. Like they had this thing on TV, this experiment where a guy took a pen and he said, "This is a notable guy's pen. This is Albert Einstein's pen." And he gave it to somebody. He said, "How do you feel about having that pen in your hand?" And he was like, I feel esteemed. Like, wow, a great man had."
Right.
Then he passed around the sweater. He was like, "Guess what sweater that is?" He was like, "Would you put on that sweater?" No, first he was like, "That's Jeffrey Dahmer's sweater." He said, "Now would you put that sweater on?" And he was like, "Oh, hell no."
Right.
But that's how the land of America is.
Yeah.
That's how America is. Yeah. America was built on blood. You know? So but they want to use America and spawn from America, the deceit and the lies that America brought up America, spawn from that and bring in some new society.
Nor reign upon in the day of indignation. Meaning it ain't been touched yet. They haven't paid for what they have done. We don't want to hear no motherfucking speech on y'all, sorry. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof. Like a roaring lion raving the prey, they have devoured souls. They have taken the treasures and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. And that's what the police force has been doing while they've been occupying our neighborhood. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they shown difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profane among them. Right, because they just keep the white Christ up, and that's it. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravering the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophets have darted them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and division and divination lying unto them, saying, Thus said the Lord God, when the Lord has not spoken. The people of the land have used oppression and exceeded robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. And
that's the blacks, whites, and Native Americans.
Our leaders, and this how hard y'all going on y'all own people. And I have sought for a man among them that shall make up the hedge and stand in the gap, and that's what we do. Before me, for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I found none. Therefore have I poured out my indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. Their own way have I recompensed upon their head, said the Lord God. So ain't no turning back. Y'all continue doing what y'all doing. Keep them good ass smiles on your face. Give that curse and that inheritance over to your kids, because, right here, because this was gonna happen to your kids. And I'm gonna start with this. I knew. I was like, man, what you giving it up? I just hit it. And I was just looking at it. Shit, wish I could get it. This Matthew 27 and 23. And the governor said, Why? What evil has he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. And these are the Israelites who crucified their own Lord, Yahushua. When Pilate saw that he could not prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. But let's see how our people respond. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. See that? So the blood, he can be one of the children of the people back then. He can be one of the children of the people from back then that actually got the blood on him. And because you spiritually reincarnated to come back in your lot, that's why he set dead end lock on fulfilling his lot to get murdered in the midst of this bitch. I'm trying to fill about this motherfucker.
So just like him, countless others, man, is going to be judged by the Heavenly Father. Because let him say it. He's just for the American people or the American police force, which is in total opposite, or the main problem with the oppression of blacks, Latins, and Native Americans. It's part of the system that is made to go against you all the way. Yeah. So with that, we'll say, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Barakatham, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers that's out there doing the work, fulfilling these prophecies, bringing out the prophecy, and death to America, all right? Death to you Negroes that sell out your own people.
Yeah, because this is the year to push.
And we don't care about no flack that comes behind us. We bring out the truth as is, and kill yourself, basically. All right, with that, shalom.
Shalom.